Okay, could you lip sync right there? Could you read my lips right then? I didn't realize I was on mute at the time. So this is live, folks. This is live. This is the way it is. I don't do cuts. I don't do edits because I want to be real and authentic with you. Okay. Um, I forgot to unmute myself. So you saw my lips moving and a whole lot of body action, but that was it. Anyway, it's great to be with you again this morning. So welcome to the J Talk Morning Show again. And we're going to kick this baby off right now. And so, today what I want to talk to you about is something I kind of mentioned in the past. I've mentioned it several times. And I'll probably mention it again in the future. And it's because it's one of the programs that I created, and it's called the OACCFF Leadership Method. So, Jay, that's a lot of acronyms to remember. Well, when you understand the acronym, you understand the process, you'll be able to remember OACCFF. Okay. I thought about calling it OAC square F square, but nah, that's just getting too complicated. All right. So, but OACCFF, and the reason that's in this way, and I didn't create some word out of it that you could remember, okay, is because it's a process. This is a step by step. You start with the O, you end with the F. You start back with the O. Okay. And it's a constant, it's always consistent and consistent in your leadership approach to your personnel, your team members. Okay. So, and it works great too if you happen to be in the world of mentoring or coaching kids, as a parent, or you're a teacher, or you're an athletics coach. This is a process that I developed that's called the OACCFF Leadership Method, and how do you approach people. And it's going to make a better leader out of you. It's going to gain greater trust and influence with people. And you want that. You want that. If you want to be a really good leader, you want to be a great leader, okay? You want processes like this. You want this. You need this. I've used this. I still use it. And but this was a great tool I used when I was in the military. Now, in the military, kind of stemmed my thoughts on this. Okay. But then I thought, okay, but wait, there's more to this process than what we're doing. And so I added to it and I made it my own. And so this is it, the OACCFF Leadership Method, that approach to great leadership. Okay. So coffee check, Java check right now. All right. Now, if you're interested in doing videos and live videos like this, you want to get the StreamYard program. You want to get this. This is one of the best tools that we've had, best tools that we use, and we can use it for our courses. We can use the video for you're doing lives, and it goes on multiple platforms at the same time. Right now, I'm streaming on 3 different platforms: my personal Facebook page, my J Talk Morning Show Facebook page, as well as the YouTube channel. So it's a great tool, and such an amazing tool to use, a resource. So, and I'll post the link in the comments below once this video is done. All right. So the OACCFF style of leadership, and I'm going to go through them, and I've got a complete program, like I said, complete workshop on this, as well as tools for each level. Okay, so this is one of those things where, once again, if you want to increase your influence, increase your impact, increase your leadership, and the trust and the loyalty of your team members, you want this program. You want this program. Okay. So this is where you just contact me if you want to learn more. All right. Real quick up here. Let's see in the comments. We got John. Good morning, my friend. Need your coffee without today. We got to have our Java. Got to have our Java. Okay. Java. I should make a game out of that. Every time I mess up, I should take a drink. In that case, I better get a pot of coffee down here. All right. So it's great to have you on this morning. Okay. So let's get this started. All right. So we're talking about the OACCFF Leadership Method, created by Goff Enterprises, yours truly, Mr. J. Goff. And the first step is observe. Observe. Now, I had images, but for some reason I couldn't get them to download on here. So I've got to reconfigure that. But I got these beautiful images. fact, I've got them pulled up right here. I'll show you on my phone. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Right here. Look at that. The Effective Leadership Method of OACCFF, a product of JKG Consultants. It's pretty cool, but I couldn't get them to download. So, another little hiccup that I need to work on. Observe. When you're observing as a leader, you are constantly, consistently observing. What are you looking for? You're looking for things that they are doing right, as well as what they're doing wrong, what they need to make improvements on. But too many leaders are not looking for the things that people are doing that is right, and then acknowledging when they do things that are right. So observe what's going on. Now, the observing aspect also is not just looking at their production, but how are they showing up? Has something changed in them? Is their attitude changed? You observe people and you develop and you determine what their personality, their communication style is, their connectivity, what matters to them. This is all part of the observation aspect of it. This is why with this particular step especially, but with all of them, that's why we always administer the Maxwell DISC assessment, so that you know you and you can learn to identify that style of other people. And as an organization, if you brought the Maxwell DISC assessment into your organization, what we would do is everyone would get one, including you, Mr. or Miss Leader. And then we would have a discussion about that. We'd break it down. We'd do a debrief with a few of them, and we do scenarios where you can identify certain types. We have games. We play games. Yes. Jay doesn't like to do anything unless there's some fun involved. Okay. So hiring me or Katrina with JKG Consultants, you're going to have fun, because that's a prerequisite. You're going to get that. Matter of fact, we throw that one in for free. Okay. We don't even charge you for the fun, but the assessments help you to know you and know others. And when you know others, you can observe them for certain behaviors, maybe some changes in their attitude, changes in their approach to things, changes in their communication style. How are they communicating with people? Are they communicating with people? And so observing is a powerful first step. You've got to see something before you can do something, right? You got to see something before you can do something. So observations. The next step in this, the A in the OACCFF, is assess. You've got to assess the situations. After the observation is completed, you move into the assessment phase. Assessing involves analyzing the gathered information, identifying the root causes of any challenges you may have observed, and recognizing potential opportunities. Leaders evaluate individual and team performance, considering factors such as skill sets, motivation, communication styles, and collaboration abilities. This step ensures a comprehensive understanding of the existing situation, enabling leaders to make informed decisions and develop effective strategies. In the military, we're always observing and assessing. You observe what's going on, then you assess the situation, and you come up with a plan so that we all have a greater outcome. So under the assessment aspect of it, the tools we use is to help you develop a decision-making process to get to the end result you want. The assessment phase is helping you to identify some of those challenges. Okay. Before you can fix a problem, you've got to see the problem. You got to know the problem. Then you've got to evaluate it. Okay. What can we do about it? So that's the assess. And I'm going to run through all these today instead of making several series out of it. So the next one is the C. The first C is counsel. Counsel. You want to counsel people. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be a counselor. You don't have to be a therapist. You don't have to be certified to be a counselor. Okay. Now, if you're working in the industry where you're changing people's lives, on a day-to-day basis, as a therapist, somebody's coming to you, yes, you need to make sure you have all your certifications. But as a leader, you're also a counselor. Do you know how to effectively counsel your team members? It's not just talking to them. There's a true pattern of a process in the counseling process. There's the all the way down to just the how you invite them into the counseling process, how you establish the environment, how are you approaching, what are some of the questions you're asking, what are some of the resources you're offering. Okay, so when you're counseling your team members, and it's not just counseling them on the things that that are life altering or something that are productive enhancing, and so maybe they're not producing like they should. It's not just that. It's also counseling them on the personal life. Hey, Johnny, what's going on at home? Hey, Johnny, what's going on with your car? Hey, Johnny, you're late. I'm showing that you're late a lot. That you observed it, you assessed the situation. Now you're starting the counseling process. So what's going on there? Okay. You're getting down to the root causes. Effective leaders understand the importance of open and honest communication. Through counseling, leaders provide guidance, support, and constructive feedback to individuals and teams. They create a safe space for dialogue, addressing concerns, and providing solutions. By fostering a culture of trust, leaders encourage personal and professional development, resulting in enhanced performance and increased job satisfaction. Okay? So counseling is another great, a very important part of this process. All the steps in this are important. So I'll save myself the redundancy and you of listening to it to say, didn't you just say that about the last thing? It's kind of like when John Maxwell writes his latest book. They ask him, what's his favorite book he's written out of 100 books? The one he's working on right now. Okay. Each one is always his favorite. So each one of these steps are important. And folks, listen, if you know this process and you implement this process into everything you do in your organization as a leader, it's going to make a huge difference in how people work for you, how people are committed to the organization and to you as their leader. Okay. This process lets people know you really care about them, not just the counseling aspect, but the whole process. So I hope you're taking notes. Okay. Observe, assess, counsel, and the next level is coach. Now, not everybody knows how to effectively coach. So that's why through this process in the workshops, I teach you how to effectively coach a team member. Now, keep in mind, I always say this, but I think it bears repeating, that everything I speak and teach on can be applied in the office, at work, and at home. So think of this process as something you would do when raising your children. Okay. Or even with your spouse. Now, they say don't ever try to coach your spouse. Katrina and I, we're both coaches, and we both coach each other. Okay. And it's just, what is coaching? It's asking the right questions. Sometimes we don't have the answer because we are not asking ourselves the right questions. Because the answer is always there. We just got to find the right question, ask the right question to get to that solution. And the right question is the key to open up that door to the solutions, to the opportunities, to the possibilities. It's the questions. And that's why in coaching, on average, it takes about 7 questions to get down to the root of the why this person is experiencing whatever they're experiencing or not experiencing what they want to experience. So learning how to effectively coach as a leader is part of the process. Just to say, oh, just coach your team, okay, it's more than that. And there's another thing. Coaching is not the same as mentoring, is not the same as counseling. It is different. Okay? Counseling helps you solve problems by identifying some of the symptoms and diving in deeper on many of those. And when I talk about counseling, I'm talking about like, therapist counseling, therapy counseling. They dive in deep to what's got you to the state that you're in right now and kind of handle that issue. Now, many counselors do put on a different hat and become coaches, but most of them are looking to help you overcome a challenge from the past. Mentoring is showing you the way that I have walked, okay? Teaching you what I have learned. If you want to be mentored, say if you want to play a guitar, well, you don't really get a guitar coach. You get a guitar mentor or a teacher, okay? This is how I play. If you got a guitar coach, that would basically just say, well, how do you think you should play with? Well, what do you think is the problem? Okay. Well, you want a different sound. What else could you do? Now, you could use coaching in that way, but you're not fully going to get the effect. So that's why you need mentors and teachers as well. But coaching is going to get down to asking you the questions that you're not asking yourself. As a leader, ask your team members questions. Because when you ask questions, they come up with solutions because they're answering the questions they're not asking themselves, or they're answering the questions that they don't want to ask themselves. They avoid some of those questions. They know the questions they want to ask, but what happens is a lot of times they want to avoid it. Some of us are more comfortable. In fact, I made a post this morning because it was shared by one of my girls, actually, shared a video of Jordan Peterson. And so a lot of us are more comfortable living into the lies we tell ourselves than we are facing the realities of truth. And that's why we don't ask ourselves the right questions, or we know the questions we should be asking ourselves and answering, but we avoid those questions because it's not comfortable. Well, as a coach, you're going to ask questions that's not always going to be comfortable for the person you're coaching and yourself. These are tough questions we have to ask to get to the root so that we can move forward. See, coaching is about moving you forward. Coaching plays a vital role in the OACCFF method. Leaders act as coaches, helping individuals and teams unlock their full potential. They provide guidance, offer resources, and encourage continuous growth. By setting clear goals and expectations, leaders empower individuals to take ownership of their development. Okay, that's key. You encourage them to take ownership of their development. If your team members do what you tell them to do, rather than do what you've coached them to do, they pull that out of them, they're not going to take ownership, and it's probably not going to be a repeat success. You teach them how to answer those questions for themselves by asking the right questions. So we want them to take ownership of their development, because that's when the pride kicks in. That's when they say, I can do this. I can do this. Regular coaching sessions enable leaders to provide ongoing support, address challenges, and celebrate achievements. This step enhances motivation, boosts morale, and creates a sense of accountability. These are all taken from my workshop. And so I'm not going into all the great details because we don't have time for all that. All right, facilitate. Listen, if you've observed, you've assessed, you counsel, you coach them now on what they're going to do, and they come up with a plan, now you got to facilitate. You got to make sure that you can help them get to what they want to do, get to where they want to go. Okay? Get them on board. So you got to make sure as a leader that you're facilitating your team members with the resources they need, the tools they need to do the job. Okay? If you're a parent, you want to make sure you're resourcing your children with the tools that they need to be successful. That's our jobs. We're leaders. As a parent, you're a leader. As an organizational leader, you're a leader. Okay? Don't be a boss, be a leader. The boss in this case would probably say, I don't know how you're going to fix it. Go fix it. Okay? Wrong. First of all, if you don't know how, then why are you in that position? Okay? A leader says, okay, here's what we got. Let's use this, do this, go ask so-and-so, Let me get that tool for you. Let me get that resource for you. Here's a number to call. If you need help with this, here's a person I recommend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're providing resources, a facilitator. You're providing a safe environment too. That's part of the facilitation. Maybe you've observed, assessed an individual having a hard time in the office and relationships, and notice maybe there's during the observation and assessment, maybe there's a lot of negativity, and so it's bringing this person down. Well, that's going to bring his productivity down and his attitude. And you counsel them, you discover what's going on. Now you coach them. Say, okay, here's what what do you think you can do? What's going to make it better for you? Great. I'm going to provide you with resources. Facilitate, facilitate, facilitate. Facilitation is a crucial element to the OACCFF element of this method. It enables leaders to create an environment that is conducive to growth and collaboration. Leaders facilitate by removing obstacles, providing necessary resources, and encouraging teamwork. They promote open communication, foster mutual respect, and facilitate knowledge sharing. By creating a supportive framework, leaders enable individuals and teams to perform at their best, thereby achieving organizational goals and objectives. Okay, so leaders, you've got to provide the resources. You've got to facilitate. If you're not facilitating, you are, in my honest opinion, derelict of duty. It's a dereliction of your duty. You're not living into your role as you should. Okay, and the final one is follow up. Follow up. This is one that's always missing in people's assessments and stuff. You got to follow up as a leader. Once you set them out, they've gone out the door. Now they've got a game plan. Okay, you've given them the resources. They feel more confident that they can achieve the goals that you want for them, as well as what they want for themselves. Okay, but you've got to come back. You've got to do a follow up. Follow up in leadership. When I'm a strong proponent of personnel evaluation reports. Performance reviews. However you want to title these things. But going back and using this method in the process, and then going back periodically and do a follow-up. Say, hey, the last time we talked, we spoke about this. And this is one thing I want to throw this in there too. When you have these meetings with your team members, make sure you document every single part of it, okay? In fact, one of the sheets I have created actually goes into that, where you actually fill in the blanks on each level of here, of the OACCFF process. You fill it in. Now you've got a record. You can go back and you review this once in a while. Whenever you do your periodic performance and production reviews, you go back in there, you pull that file out, you review that before you ever call them in, or you go to them, or you set up a meeting. Okay. And that way you have something to reflect back on. The questions you need to ask, and then write the questions down that you want to ask. What are the things you want to ask based on that? So there's a process. So the follow-up is so important. We all hear that on anything we do. Follow up, follow up, follow up. The magic's in the follow-up. In business and sales, if you got a business or a sales call, you do a follow-up. If you shoot an email to somebody, check your emails. They send you one back, do a follow-up. Somebody's making a request for you and your services. Jump on it as soon as possible. Do a follow-up. Okay, you got to stay on that. Otherwise, people will forget. In today's world, we get bombarded with emails constantly. It could get lost in the shuffle. Follow up. Learning the best method of contact. Some people are avid email readers. Very few people, honestly, if we're being honest. Many people function better if you just send them a text. Even if you need to send them an email with an attachment, send them a text and say, "Hey, John, I sent you an email. Okay, it has the attachment on it. Okay, boom. As soon as you do it, send it then. So that way they know, oh, I need to get in the next 5 minutes at least get over there and check that email and download that attachment, right? Some people operate off of social media. Some people use Facebook Messenger. Some people use LinkedIn. And the cool thing is there's those messengers in these different platforms. So find out what your team member is best communicated through and use that method. As a coach, that's one thing I have to do is any client I have, or I say partners in the coaching process, what's the best form of communication with them? What works best with them? So then I will make a note, and every time I communicate with that individual, I will send them either an email or a text or a phone call or a Facebook Messenger, those types of techniques. So do a follow-up. So the final step is following up. Okay, leaders must consistently monitor progress, providing ongoing feedback and reinforcement. By following up, leaders ensure that strategies and plans are being implemented effectively. In other words, you said you were going to do this. Have you done that? So you want to make sure to go back and make sure that what was agreed to is actually being done. They identify the areas of improvement, address emerging challenges, and celebrate the successes. Regular follow-up demonstrates the leader's commitment to supporting individuals and teams throughout their journey, promoting continuous growth and development. This process offers inclusive and comprehensive framework for leadership exercise and implementation. By adopting this approach, leaders can effectively observe, assess, counsel, coach, facilitate, and follow up with individuals and teams. This holistic method fosters a culture of growth and trust and collaboration, ultimately leading to improved performance, increased job satisfaction, and organizational success. And people know you care about them when you follow this process. Follow the process, my friends. The OACCFF. Follow the process. It's going to make a world of difference in your leadership in your organization. If you want to know more about this program and many others, but if you want to know more specifically about this program, the OACCF Leadership Approach, the most powerful leadership tool ever, in my opinion. Maybe I'm a little biased because I created it, okay? But I believe it's one of the most powerful leadership tools you can use. Any leader at any level can start using this in any environment. And I'm telling you what, it's going to make a huge difference in your leadership approach, okay? So text OACCFF to that phone number, 417-298-6419, if you want to learn more, if you want me to bring this into your organization, if you want me to just come and speak about this organization, this process with your team, and give out worksheets so everybody can start filling them out, program. Let me know. Let me know. Just text OACCFF to that phone number down below, and we'll get you started. All right, up here in the comments real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up and get out of here. John had to cut out early. Let's see. Okay, John had to cut out early. All right, and Catherine, good morning. Catherine, I'll throw you up there, girl. Good morning. Love the butterfly wings there behind you. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. All right, my friends. So that's what we got for you this morning. God bless each and every single one of you. And remember just to get in touch with me if I can be of service whatsoever. Let me know what you thought about this process. I'm very curious what you think about this process as an observer. This is a program, this would be a good one for me to actually create a virtual workshop on. And we can do that. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And if you can get about 5 or more people together at one time, we'll set up a time and do a virtual. So no matter where you are in the world, you get Coach Jay on a teaching call, and we can talk about that. And I will send you through email the talking points in the workbook as well. All right, my friends, so that's what we got for you today, and I will see you again tomorrow morning with a new topic. I went ahead and knocked this one out. This could have been probably a 3-parter. I just want to knock it out and give you the highlights. So God bless each and every single one of you. We will see you next time right here on the J Talk Morning Show. Remember, get up, get out, and get at it. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.